Well, welcome everybody back to the Figure Kit Garage full of resin heads and kit builders. Brent Krug back with another out-of-the-box review. The box on the table is our latest arrival. This is the 12-inch vinyl Medusa, which is part of the Ray Harryhausen 100th anniversary Mythical and Terrifying Creatures collection. This went up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store last December. Was originally scheduled to ship the second quarter of this year and unfortunately did not arrive until this past Wednesday. This is a 27-piece vinyl kit along with a very heavy poly resin base. This is one of the latest offerings that Star Ace Toys and X Plus USA have been putting out in celebration of the creations of the late Ray Harryhausen. I reviewed the Cyclops last year, which was the first kit that I got from Star Ace and X Plus, and I got to admit I was impressed by it. Having already looked at the pieces for this kit, I'm even more impressed. The first ever vinyl Medusa kit that was released was back in the 1990s by Geometric Designs, which was run by George Stevenson, who currently owns and runs Blackheart Models. But you can see the front of the box, really beautiful artwork of the final built piece, really nicely thought out and designed. And this is a very big box. This is not small like the Cyclops is, but nice. Try to get this in camera if I can. Nice close-up side art of the finished kit. And sadly, they did kind of mess up on the description of the character, in which they're not describing Medusa. Let me move my paint cup out of the way. They've actually described Medusa, the one-eyed giant fantasy creature. Unfortunately, they put the description for the Cyclops on the Medusa box. But that notwithstanding, this kit is really amazing, very well detailed. We'll go ahead and pop the top on this box. You can see the base is packed in styrofoam, laser cut for very safe transportation, because this stuff, when it breaks, it's pretty much done for. And this is a kit based on the Medusa character from the 1981 film Clash of the Titans. This kit, as I did find out, is available on culttvman.com for $169.99 right now. And that was right before I came in to do the video. I looked to see if it was available anywhere else, and it still is, surprisingly. But this has been sold out on Big Bad Toy Store for quite some time. All of the parts and pieces, I apologize for the light flare, nicely bagged, and we actually have a parts tree. Very rare to see that in a vinyl kit. And we'll open up each one of these little bubbles as we go. And then the remainder of the body pieces. And this is a big kit. This is not as small as the original geometric one was. I believe that was between 8 to 9 inches when fully built. But nonetheless, Star Ace Toys did a really, really good job on the sculpting and the detail. And this was sculpted by artists at Kaibutsuya. And surprisingly to my my knowledge was bumped up a little bit, Joe Laudati was involved with this kit. And Joe Laudati has been involved with a lot of creature sculpting over the years. And very well-known sculptor, damn good at what he does. So to see his name involved with this project is kind of a nice deal. So we'll take a look. Let's take a look at the base first. This is the heaviest part of this kit. I'm not sure how much this thing weighs. Pull it out of the foam here. All one solid piece of poly resin. And as you can see, littered with snakes and the remains of one of her victims that she has turned to stone. You know, really beautifully sculpted. I can honestly say I don't know who was involved with what in the sculpting of this character in the base, but you got a snake slithering over the top of one of her victims. You know, beautiful stonework detail. Very nice all the way around. This thing is heavy. I can't deny it. Put that off to the side. And we will start with the main body pieces. I'm going to cut one of these open on one end. A true unboxing. And these are all the tail sections. Well, two of the main tail sections. This will attach to the main, to her upper body. This is I can't deny it, this is a big damn kit. I had to pull the camera up and away from the desk more than it normally is just to be able to do this because of her size. I'm definitely not going to be able to do a test fit on her and get all the body pieces together, so I apologize for that. And it does come with a an old school brazier that has a clear flame piece that if you chose to do so, you could light this up with LEDs and it will sit right on the base. She actually sits next to the base itself. She does not sit on it. I believe the way her body is positioned, her tail will sit more or less like that. Let me get that back in camera a little bit. So it'll actually, the base will actually hold her upright more than anything else. And then the tail sections are keyed properly, so you can only get the pieces in one way. Take a little bit of putty work to hide those seams, but not really that bad. Nicely thought out on the keys themselves. And her tail will actually curl around and up just like that. And like I said, I'm not going to be able to get fully construct her. But that is how big the tail section will be, and that is without this part here, which will attach. Let's see if I can get that puppy in there the right way. Yeah, not going to happen. But that upper body will, or the upper part of the tail will attach there, and the detail work and the scaling and the underbelly of the snake tail, you know, really nicely done. X Plus definitely has their ducks in a row when it comes to capturing the detail in these characters. As with the Cyclops and the job that they did on that, this is even more impressive, to put it mildly. This thing, yeah, this is a kit that you would actually want to build a base extension for and incorporate the base that it came with to appreciate, you know, to appreciate it in full. And then the upper body, gotta the heck with covering her up. If YouTube gives me grief, then so be it. This is art. This is not pornography in any way, shape, or form. And then the peg on her back is where the quiver will go. Just really nicely done. Beautiful scale sculpting. And then her upper body, my God, almost seamless fit except for across the back. Just a little bit of A's along the front and the back, and a little bit of blending, and that'll fit on there really, really nicely. That was really well thought out. The engineering on this kit is really beautiful, I got to admit. Absolutely impressive. I'll set that there like that. And we'll get out bag number 2. And we'll take a look at her head, which is in 3 pieces. Unlike the Cyclops, this does not have the capability for adjusting the eyes. I think they only do that on certain creatures. But the face of Medusa the Gorgon, captured very, very well. Beautiful scale sculpting. And then these are the 2 main head pieces that will attach to her. Let's see if I can figure this out. These should fit very easily. There are a couple spots along the top for at least 2 extra snakes that'll fit in to those pegs to complete the hair full of snakes. See if I can figure out how to get that on there. It says refer to the completed photo in the directions. And I'll show you the directions right now. I saw refer to the completed photo. I'm like, you got to be kidding. This is basically the instruction sheet that you get. And that's it. You get the base, which they call the basement, the bow, the hair, the right hand, the snakes. Somehow the brazier they refer to as the lower jaw. Go figure. And the tail and the body. And then that's the photo you're supposed to use to figure out how to put this thing together. Directions wise, that could have been done a lot better than what it is. I can honestly say I'm a little disappointed in that. Boy, oh boy, they do not make this easy on figuring out how to put those snakes together. Okay. There's the snakes fit together. Now you're definitely going to have to do a little putty work along that seam to get that to work right. Boy, oh boy, this is a pain in the butt to figure out. There we go. Okay. So that is how the snakes will fit onto her head. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a gap issue where the snakes glue together, and then fitting her head into the space. You have a little bit of gap right above the right ear and above and behind the left ear as well. Man, I don't know if that could have been thought out any better, but this is definitely not a beginner's kit. I can honestly say that. You have to resculpt at least 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 snake bodies would have to be resculpted to get that to look right. And then the head fits right onto the neck, and a little bit of seam line work is required. Other than that, that actually looks really sharp. I can't deny it. Like I said, the snake hair, yeah, I don't know if they could have done that any better or differently. That's a lot more complicated than I thought. Yeah, definitely some gap issues on those pieces alone. We'll bring up the arms. Matter of fact, I'll bring out the clear fire. This is done in clear vinyl. It's not resin. It is actually flexible. You know, really, really nice. And this will sit. It actually has a notch to match up with the notch in the brazier, so it'll sit just like that. And you'll be able to paint this with transparents and gloss clear it, and then light it up from underneath with LEDs, and it'll look really sharp. It's actually really nicely thought out on that part, I got to admit. We have her right arm. And this is the arm that will be drawing the bow back, and you do get a section of string to string the bow up with. So you won't have to worry about going out and getting your own. You'll actually have it. Move some of these tail pieces off to the side here. Well, that's actually going to stay in place. I can't believe it. Then the arm that holds the bow is partially cast in black resin, or draws the bow is cast in black resin, as is the hand that holds the bow itself. Most of the engineering on this kit is really nice. I can't deny that. It's just the snakes in the hair is what's throwing me off, and I apologize for that. But this is one of, I believe this one. I'm not exactly sure where these two snakes go. Man. Okay, one of the snakes will fit this little slot right here. Will match up with the bottom of this snake, and will attach to that body right there. And this one has one as well, and I'm trying to figure out where the slot for that one is. I'm not sure if you can do the same thing for both of them, or if you wanted to. Nope. It's interesting how they did that. Now, for casting reasons, I can understand. And then like this snake here will fit. Yeah, there's one of the large snake. It'll actually plug into the two holes here and here. Yeah, definitely any improvements X Plus could have made on a kit like this would be the directions on where these things fit and how they fit. That's about the biggest gripe I've got on this right now, to be brutally honest. And then the snake will fit on there like that. Interesting how they decided to do that. That's a big damn head of hair full of snakes. Ah, there's where the other one goes. Okay. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. This snake will fit right here on her left shoulder. So for those of you that see this, now you know how those snakes will attach. So the snake curving upwards, the snake will attach to her upper left shoulder along the side of her neck. And you'll have to blend that line in before you paint it. And then the second upper snake half goes right up here, and he will sit on her head at that point, just like that. And then the full length snake, the tail will plug in right there into that hole, and then the other part will plug into there, so it will hang down just around and behind her left ear. So for any of you that have this, that see it, now you know how those snakes fit onto her head. As far as the right arm goes, that is the fit of the right arm from the shoulder all the way down to the hand. And then there's a little notch in between the thumb and the forefinger, just a little bit, where the arrow will fit in between her fingers, because that is the pose that she is in. But other than that, the detail that they got into this vinyl kit for the authenticity of the character is very, very amazing. And then the right hand is going to be holding the bow, and I'll go ahead and pull those pieces out as they are on a parts tree. Which, like I said, a parts tree for a vinyl kit is a very, very rare thing. And these are not vinyl, these are actually hard plastic. And I can go ahead and take that off of there. So the way that'll assemble, well, that's interesting how they did that. So the upper part with the hollow end of the bow will actually fit on the top of her hand, and then the rest of it will actually slide and glue in just like that. And once you get the lower half in there, it's completely seamless, which is really nice. That part I'm actually impressed with as far as the line of thought on the engineering. I really like how they did that. And then left hand will fit in just like that, attached to the body, will look like that. So the engineering on the bow being able to be slipped into the left hand in two separate pieces, I'm actually impressed with that. I can't deny it. So, and on the remainder of the parts tree, you have two short arrows, which I don't know if you can see that or not. There are two tiny little holes cut into the top of the quiver. Those will simply slip right in there. And then there are three fletchings for each of the arrows. So you have three feathers all together. And then this, as I said, will slip in between her thumb and her forefinger on her right hand. Should slip in just like that. And this will be the arrow she's drawing back to fire at Perseus. Overall, the level of detail on this kit, I'm amazed at. To bring probably, I think, what is only the second kit of this version of Medusa back onto the market for the first time in over 30 years is quite impressive. Like I said, the two biggest nitpicks I had were the snakes in the hair and the way those were designed. Maybe they could have been done better, maybe they couldn't have. It's too hard to tell at this point. But pro modelers, experienced kit builders will be able to fill in those seam lines and get that blended down and completely invisible. You'll never even know it was there. And I think probably the biggest gripe I have for something like this, for somebody that gets this and doesn't know how in the world to do that, this really isn't an instruction sheet. This is more like a parts listing, not an instruction sheet. When you refer to a completed image for assembly reference, yeah, not really good. Check the contents and number of parts before assembly. Yeah, goes without saying. But yeah, that's probably the biggest gripe I've got on the whole thing is the directions are not really directions. The Horizon vinyl kits, even the Screaming Kyoto, all the vinyl kits, even the geometric kits back in, the 90s, they had instructions that gave you a basic idea of where certain parts were supposed to go. Excuse me. And this one doesn't. So that's kind of disappointing on a kit that, you've been waiting for since December of last year. It's kind of a letdown. But overall, the quality of the kit is beyond impressive. The level of detail on this kit is beyond impressive. I didn't show you the quiver, which comes in two separate pieces. Fit together just like that, and then that will peg into her back just like that. So overall, very, very happy with the way that this turned out in the end. Minor gripes, but for $154, this is definitely worth the cost that I paid to get this kit. I haven't really targeted any of the other Ray Harryhausen tribute kits. Not sure if I'm going to, unless they were to do, God, I don't know. I was not an overly big Harryhausen fan, but Clash of the Titans was one of my favorite films as a kid growing up. So if you have the capability of getting one, head on over to culttvman.com. I'll leave the link for that website in the comments below. Get one if you can. It's a beautiful kit. It's really well done, really well engineered, except for the snakes in the hair. The detail is amazing and spares no expense on that at all. Also, I want to thank all my subscribers. We've crossed over 1,000. We're still growing. I'm still working on the Deckard Work in Progress series. I just posted that video yesterday, and I still got a long way to go, but it's been a lot of fun. Made a few mistakes here and there on camera and left it in there. I didn't delete it, so you guys can see what happens when you make a mistake and you try to correct it. So for this review of the Medusa from Star Ace Toys and X Plus USA, part of the Ray Harryhausen 100th Anniversary Mythical Monsters and Creatures kit series. This has been the Figure Kit Garage. Everybody stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Build a kit.